What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. Well. Last week we did the video on COMC direct to grading, where you could submit a card to COMC in a raw format and they would turn it around and send it to a grading company for you. At the time, CGC was their only option. They've been doing this for a while. If you had cards in your COMC inventory, you could submit them to CGC directly. And then they added the program where if you had raw cards, you can send those in and they would send them off to CGC, basically like a group submitter. Everyone on that video said, this is cool, but like, if they don't have PSA, what's the point? Or where's PSA? We need PSA. What about PSA? Fast forward to today. PSA has partnered with COMC, or COMC has partnered with PSA. Put it in whatever order that you want. You could now grade directly with PSA via the COMC portal. So there's two ways you could go about this. And I should mention this video is sponsored by COMC. You can do direct to grading. So that is what I did last week, where you take your cards, put them in the card savers, send them off, $1 processing fee, and then they end up in your COMC inventory. We'll look at that here in a minute. And then you could submit them that way. So they do not touch the raw cards. They do not review them. You could send them from home and do it that way. The other thing you could do is buy cards on COMC and send them into PSA, previously CGC, now both, that way as well. I've done that quite a bit through the CGC thing. We'll talk about that in a second as well. And seems kind of like a win-win all around. Now, is it going to make sense for every single card in the world? No. In terms of buying raw inventory on the COMC platform, I know I've done a video on that. I believe you can go check out Dakota Sports Cards Anonymous has done a video about that was really good. I like to center that around Marvel, and then people told me also hockey because of the EPAC tie-in with Upper Deck. You're getting those cards basically untouched. They still need to look them over, but you can reprocess them as Elite and all that and have them sent in that way, or you'll now be able to submit from home. The thing that I like about this is a lot of people have trust issues with group submitters, which I 100% get. This isn't a nameless entity. This is COMC, one of the oldest companies in the entire hobby, acting as a group submitter. I have a lot more faith in them. The other thing here that is nice now, if you have mixed batch that you want to send in, and what do I mean by that? Say you have 20 cards and you want to send some to CGC and some to PSA, and there's nothing stopping them from adding other grading companies in the future. You could send those all to COMC in one package, and then once they're uploaded into your inventory, send them off wherever you want them to go. So, okay, cool. I sent my 15 cards in. I want these 5 to go off to CGC, these 5 to go to PSA, and these 5 to go to some potential grading company in the future, potentially. So all in one shipment, you could do that. And then when the cards come back, if you want to have them shipped home, you can, or you can list them for sale on COMC or send them to auction via eBay through COMC. So the use case for this is if you're sending, to me anyways, if you're sending stuff in that you want to grade to sell, because you could just send the cards in, they'll grade them, put them back on your inventory on COMC, and then you don't have to deal with all the shipping to and from. You don't have to get the cards back, package them up, ship them, list them on eBay. It's a big time saver. Now you'll pay a little bit of a premium for that. There's the $1 fee to COMC, and we'll talk about the grading prices as well in a minute. So anything that I'm sending in for a price point that makes sense with the grading fee and the turnaround time is stuff I am probably not going to have shipped home. Now, I've bought cards on COMC and had them graded and had them shipped home. I think that's a little bit different, but you could still do that as well. You will now be able to do that with PSA. That'll be really big for, say, Marvel Masterpieces 2023 is about to come out in a month physical, and then the EPAC will follow thereafter. You will now be able to grade all those Marvel cards with PSA if you so choose. So big win all around. Let's talk about pricing, and let's kind of talk about how this works. We'll give you a quick rundown. If you remember, last week I sent in some cards for direct to grading. I sent in this Corbin Carroll, and this is what it looks like. Spotlight and these Ellie De La Cruz, youngest player to hit for the cycle from Topps Now. I sent in 3 of those and the Corbin Carroll. So these are in my inventory manager. We are going to go over here. We are going to click submit to grading. We now see PSA as an option. Declare value, very important, folks, as we remember from the video earlier this week. I'll put in about $100. And then here are my options. So what are we looking at for pricing? $24 for value, 12-week turnaround time. $75 for regular, $170 for express, $330 for super express, $640 through walkthrough. Now, I don't know if PSA, if this will be the same case. With CGC, I've sent at least 3 separate orders off. All of them have beat the expected turnaround time. I don't know if that'll be the case with this, but it'll be up to 12 weeks, so kind of keep that in mind. How does this compare to normal PSA pricing? So here's regular PSA pricing. If you are a non-Collectors Club member, you're looking at $25 a card for bulk with an estimated turnaround time of 60 days. So COMC is putting in a little bit extra time built in. Makes sense. They have processing on the front and the back end that they have to do that we don't. So this is going to be a little bit slower than sending yourself. If you're not a Collectors Club member, it's actually cheaper. $25 for bulk, $24 for bulk, $75 for regular, $75 for regular. Express is $150 direct through PSA, $170 here probably for the expedited turnaround times, $330 for super express, $300 for express, walkthrough $640, walkthrough $600. So on the 2 main tiers, value and regular, you're basically paying exactly the same if you're not a Collectors Club member. On the upper tiers, you're paying a little bit of a premium, probably because they have to process it a little bit differently internally to get it there and back quicker because of the quicker turnaround times. Now, if you are a Collectors Club member and you're sending yourself, obviously, you'll be able to get it for a little bit less, but you are paying for that Collectors Club member fee. So depending on your individual situation, for some people, this is going to make a lot of sense to use price-wise. For some people, this isn't going to make sense for you to use. You're probably better off submitting on your own at the $19 rate. That's going to be depending on how many cards you send in, if you have a PSA membership or not. You know, to each their own. Every person's going to need to sit down and run the numbers to see what's better for them. The thing to factor in is if you're selling on the COMC platform, you don't have to worry about shipping coming back. And another underrated aspect too is I know a lot of people have COMC credit and they don't want to cash it out because of the cash out fee. You could use your COMC credit to pay for your grading. So even if you're paying a little bit more, if you have a bunch of COMC credit build up, you could use your COMC credit to pay for your PSA grading. So let's just run through this real quick. We're going to select the $24 level, check mark the box, use store credit because I have store credit to cover this. Success, done. That's how easy this is to submit. And while I'm kind of talking here, we're just going to kind of walk through these other 3. So pretty big shakeup in the grading space. I think they are going to do very well with this. I think a lot of people are going to take advantage of this. I know a lot of people that used the CGC version of this. Like I said, I used that myself. I actually just sent another card off to CGC via the COMC platform. And I've had pretty good luck with that. This was one that I bought raw. Actually, I saw it posted on eBay and I went to COMC and submitted an offer for it and got it for cheaper. So I will show you guys that card in just 1 second. Let's just do this last one real quick here. So you can see how easy this is. I just submitted 4 cards to grading in about 30 seconds while I was talking to you all. Let me go over to my inventory manager here. So I just got these back not that long ago. I got these back in about a week. This is the Ghost Spider Marvel Unbound Rainbow Foil. I sent 2 of these in. Got them back very quickly. I actually just listed one for sale, and I'm going to have the other one shipped home. And then the other one that I just purchased and sent off to grading, I've been chasing this card for a while. This is the Haley Steinfeld autograph card from Into the Spider-Verse. Like I said, this got posted on eBay as a buy it now. Saw it was COMC listed, went over to COMC, purchased it, and then sent it off to direct to grading through CGC for that one. I wanted that one on a CGC slab, but big news of the day, COMC plus PSA. Like I said, the pricing, it's going to come down to what you're looking to do and your turnaround times that you want. We'll see how the turnaround times do. Part of the reason I sent those cards in was to test this. So we'll send them out and see what they do. And then you can go over here to grading submissions, and this is what got sent out. You can see here's where I sent the Haley off on 7/16, and then here's the ones I just sent today. Now, I do believe, or at least I hope, they are going to be kind of updating the screen. I would like a pizza tracker here for each order. And what do I mean by that? I would just kind of like to know what part of the flow that my order is in. Is it in QA1? Has it been received? Is it in QA2? Just so I have an idea of where it's kind of sitting at versus the blindness of it just got submitted on this day, and then it's kind of off into the ether, and then it randomly pops back in. So we'll see if they can fix something up like that, even if it's not like exactly every single step, just kind of something that gives me an idea of where the card is at in the process, especially on these bulk submissions, if they are going to take up to 12 weeks. And like I said, we'll see if they do or not. I'm sure some of that is giving them some leeway time here. It would just be nice to know where you're kind of at so you can see that progress being made on the order just from a communication standpoint. And trust me, COMC, it'll probably save you a million emails of people emailing you to check in on grading orders, because they are crazy people like me. And when you send orders off to grading, you refresh the page 75 times a day. Even though they email you when your grades are in, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I need to see it. I need to see it move along. I need to follow my babies until they're back in my hand. So pretty big news. Like I said, I think this is a pretty big shakeup. If you are big into the COMC platform, having PSA as a grading option, I think is going to be a very large deal. The ability for hockey collectors and Marvel collectors to submit directly to PSA via EPAC after they transfer over their EPAC stuff, I think is a big deal as well. And the pricing's fair. Like I said, if you're not a Collectors Club member, you're getting it for about the same price for what most people are going to use. Let's be honest. Most people submit at this value level, the $25 level for most stuff. If you have something nicer, you're going to send it at the $75 level. But most people are using this price point here. Now, what I don't know and what I would like to see is, because they don't really have one running right now, and they're usually Collectors Club specials, are they going to fluctuate as specials roll out at the various grading companies? Because this isn't just PSA now. We have PSA, we have CGC. If things change where they're all of a sudden running a $12 special, is there going to be a version of that available through COMC? That is something that I would definitely like to see. I hope that they could do that. I know with the recent CSG-CGC merger, I think it took them about a day or so to get that flipped over when that happened. So they are responsive to that sort of stuff. I just don't know how they're going to handle pricing specials yet. That is something that I hope that they are able to build into the platform, where if these various specials come up, if it's something that they could do, that they can make it work. I think that would be very advantageous to the customer and their user base. So I know you're watching, COMC. Hope you guys can work something like that in there. That would be nice. But like I said, it's not going to be for every single card. But I do think that there is 100% use case for this. For me, a lot of it will be Marvel. I don't know how much I'll do direct to grading. It is nice if you don't have enough cards to meet the minimum, or if you're planning on selling the whole submission. So that is definitely one aspect of it that I really like. And I like the aspect of being able to use COMC credit to pay for my PSA grading, even if I'm paying a little bit of a premium on it. So we'll see how this first submission does. A little bit of a test bed. We will catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.